The river glistens under a soft English sun. Laughter echoes across the grounds of Nasa House, where garden fete banners flutter in the breeze. A fortune teller adjusts her headscarf. Teenagers scatter around the lawns. But in the boathouse, hidden among reeds and shadows, lies a girl in fancy dress, her costume now a death shroud. And standing among the bright tents and the scent of crushed grass is Hercule Poirot. He was invited for a game, a mock murder mystery. But it's no longer a game. A real murder has taken place, and Poirot suspects that someone meticulously designed the game not just for entertainment, but as a perfect smokescreen for a very real crime. Welcome to Dead Man's Folly, a murder mystery that unfolds with deceptive charm and chilling precision. Published in 1956, this later period Hercule Poirot novel showcases Christie's enduring mastery at twisting human psychology into a deadly knot. The story begins when Ariadne Oliver, Christie's self-inserting, eccentric crime novelist, calls on Poirot to Nasa House in Devon. She's been commissioned to design a murder hunt for a garden fete, but something feels off. She can't explain it, not exactly, but she's uneasy. The feeling, that eerie tingle at the back of the neck, is something Poirot never ignores, and neither should we. Nasa House is owned by Sir George Stubbs, a stiff, controlling man married to a beautiful, childlike woman named Hattie. Sir George is a landowner out of place in a modernizing England. Hattie, on the other hand, seems barely able to function in society. She's lovely but simple, almost naive. Guests are arriving for the fete. Among them, local villagers, nosy neighbors, and a colorful set of house guests. This includes a student named Alec, a secretary with sharp eyes, and a foreign architect working on the estate's restoration. Ariadne has set up a fake murder for partygoers to solve. A young girl will pretend to be the victim, complete with stage blood and clues. But then, the real girl, the one playing the corpse, is found dead. And Hattie Stubbs? She vanishes without a trace. One corpse, one missing lady, and too many motives tangled beneath genteel smiles. Poirot begins his investigation not with footprints or fingerprints, but with character as usual. Who is Hattie Stubbs really? Is she as foolish as she seems, or is that an act? And why is everyone so eager to write her off as a runaway? Christie plays with perception. Hattie is described as childlike, silly, but that image is carefully curated. Poirot begins to ask, could someone be exploiting that image? After all, someone like Hattie would make a convenient victim, or an even more convenient decoy. Sir George is a man obsessed with control. His estate, his marriage, his image in society, all are managed meticulously. But when his wife disappears and a girl is found murdered, he remains, oddly composed. Poirot notes this. He watches the way Sir George dismisses Hattie's intellect. He watches how others mimic this dismissiveness. The psychological undercurrent here is not one of love, but of ownership. And then there's Ariadne Oliver, who, despite her flair for dramatics and fondness for apples, is remarkably perceptive. Her initial instinct that something was wrong becomes the fulcrum of the entire case. The boathouse becomes the crime scene, the literal and symbolic heart of the mystery. Isolated, quiet, just out of sight from the fete, it's the perfect place for a murder that hides in plain view. Poirot starts connecting threads. The girl chosen for the murder game wasn't random. The foreign architect may be more than he seems. A hidden cousin appears, with dubious claims to a family connection. And most crucially, clues planted in the mock murder hunt may be far more revealing than any realize. Christie's brilliance lies in layering the game within the game. A fake mystery was designed for guests to solve, but inside it was the skeleton of a real crime. And the solution was right there. If only someone had looked past the theatrics. Red herrings abound, missing jewelry, forged letters, travelers with unclear motives. But Poirot homes in on one truth, that the murder required not just cunning, but careful staging. A manipulation of identity. Someone wanted others to believe they saw what they didn't. The boathouse murder was meant to distract. The real plot was the disappearance of Hattie, and it began long before the fete. Poirot unveils the answer with his usual theatrical grace. The murdered girl was merely the beginning. The real crime? Hattie had been replaced. Days before the fate. The woman guests thought was Hattie wasn't Hattie at all. This is Christie at her most diabolical. The plot depends on emotional manipulation, on how people dismiss the naive, how they overlook the simple, how they trust appearances. The substitution worked because no one took Hattie seriously. The motive, once revealed, is chilling in its banality. Money, property, status. But what elevates Dead Man's Folly is how it critiques the way people look through women like Hattie. She becomes invisible in plain sight, a blank canvas onto which others project what they want. Poirot's solution isn't just about unmasking the killer, it's about giving the invisible woman her truth back. Dead Man's Folly is more than a countryside mystery. It's about deception crafted so artfully, it hides behind simplicity. Christie dismantles the notion that murder must be extravagant. Sometimes it hides in everyday assumptions about class, intelligence, gender. It reminds us that evil doesn't always wear a villain's cloak. Sometimes it wears a smile at a garden party. And Poirot, as ever, isn't just solving a crime. He's restoring dignity to a victim the world never truly saw. This novel stands out in Christie's later works for its somber tone and psychological complexity. It lingers not just as a puzzle, but as a portrait of how cunning can wear the mask of civility, and how truth can hide behind folly.